All right, music fans, welcome back. Harmless Dave here, talking about real music and real incredible vocals and a really incredible band, and doing it in real time for a few real people out there, just like you and just like me. So, I'm going to be talking about Bill Champlin and this band called The Players, and they're really awesome people. I want to again thank Holly and Jeff Coffey for just getting me to the show again. And I had such a great time. Me and my wife attended. My wife was a little under the weather, but she was a trooper, and we hung in there for the meet and greet at the beginning, and then the show, and then we shook some hands at the end as we left. But what a fantastic show! And really, for the fraction of the cost, and for good causes on top of that. When I say a fraction of the cost, I'm talking about going to see the actual band Chicago. And this band, by the way, they do songs by Earth, Wind, and Fire, and they do songs by Chicago. So you get to hear Bill's After the Love Is Gone. They do Turn Your Love Around, the George Benson classic. Grammys, that's what Bill likes to talk about, how he won Grammys for both of those songs. And he should boast, he should brag. Before I get into this a little bit, here is a band that Bill Champlin is in with Joseph Williams and Peter Freestadt, the guitar player. CWF, not to be confused with EWF, but if you like Toto and Chicago kind of mashed together, this thing is phenomenal. This is their second album. Features the almost hit single 10 Miles, but there is so much great music here, and most of it just under the radar. People didn't hear about it when it came out, and this is what I'm here for. People say, keep promoting this stuff, we want to know more. You have to kind of scour the internet sometimes, but if you follow Bill Champlin or Joseph Williams or Peter Freestadt, who is a really great guitarist who works with a lot of that West Coast side of AOR music. All of his stuff is really fantastic. I love that style of music. And I go back and forth. I could become a West Coast connoisseur and just promote the West Coast stuff, and I would be pretty happy. But I know there's a crowd of melodic rockers out there that want me to kind of pursue that. So who knows? I might be expanding my horizons to talk about other things if something gets on my radar. So on my radar again last night was this band called The Players. You got Jeff Coffey singing, who is the cleanest tenor out there. The guy, he could sing any song where you've got to go to the high notes, and he's just very clean, very sharp. When you don't wince, right? When I listen to Chicago now, sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes their current lead singer, I do some wincing. It's like when I go to church in the morning and they have somebody singing who probably shouldn't be singing, and I start to wince, and I go, there's really a big lack of self-awareness there. But anyway, Jeff can sing anything. Keith Howland actually sung Beginnings, which I thought was great. He told the story about how Chicago, on one occasion, made him the lead singer because Jason Sheff had laryngitis. So that was a great story. And then there's Bill Champlin. All right. Oh, before I talk about Bill, the horn section, amazing. I met all these guys, and I'm going to forget names. I should have written them down. Two guys had the same last name. I remember that. But the horn section, they're all from the East Coast of Florida. They were amazing, just as strong as the Chicago, quote unquote, real band horn section. And then you got the drummer, the drummer, Gordon Campbell, who's worked with Earth, Wind, and Fire, George Duke. I mean, if you're working with George Duke, I mean, just, shut the front door. You know what I'm saying? Just, the guy is phenomenal. And he was amazing during their final song, which was an encore. And the song was I'm a Man, which Chicago at times does as their encore. These guys kind of followed the old school Chicago playbook, mixing in some Earth, Wind, and Fire as well. People were dancing around to all the Earth, Wind, and Fire songs, but there were a couple of surprises. Bill Champlin getting up, playing lead guitar and doing the guitar solo on Look Away. That's Bill's baby. That was a #1 song for Chicago, of course, written by Diane Warren. By the way, fun fact about that song, that was Chicago's fastest climbing #1 song in the band's history. And to this day, a lot of people don't know it's Chicago because Bill is singing lead on it. Chicago 19, just a brilliant album. Love that album. Might actually be my favorite Chicago album. I know that's bizarre because most people will say something from the 70s or even Chicago 17. Chicago 19 was just, that's when I was at my Chicago peak. I saw the band on their prior tour for Chicago 18, and tickets weren't selling because Peter had left and it was this new guy that nobody knew, Jason Sheff. And so I went to the Providence Civic Center and had a great time and loved what they did. They were totally trying to prove themselves. Now, getting back to last night, Bill Champlin, 76 years old. Holy crap. Batman, Robin, the Riddler, Joker, all of them. I mean, you know how I did this video a while back about Mickey Thomas from Starship and his bionic vocals? Well, put Bill Champlin right next to Mickey Thomas. In fact, you might put Bill on a step slightly higher because he's still doing all of the Bill gritty sort of doing what Bill Champlin has done for literally generations. And he has not lost anything vocally. He's singing everything in the proper key. He does do a lot of rearranging. All right. And at times, you know, look, I understand Bill Champlin. In the old days, I used to get mad at this stuff and say, just sing it the way it's supposed to be sung. But now that I'm a bit older and I've heard this song a million times in its original form, I tend to appreciate when people doctor it and do something to it that makes it stand out from the days when it was on the radio all the time. And in some cases, it's good to stick to what the song sounds like. But like on Look Away, Bill kind of stole the show on that. And killer versions of Stay the Night with Jeff Coffey, and Hard Habit to Break. I want to talk about Hard Habit to Break because the current band, the Chicago band, they cannot do that song properly right now. They don't have anybody that sings the Bill part. And nobody sounds like the lower voice. Everybody is just high up there. And what they tend to do is let their singer, the current singer, Neil, I don't know if he's singing both parts, but it's supposed to be like a back and forth. And Bill and Jeff do that song as good as anybody has done it since Peter and Bill did it originally. And Keith Howland mentioned that. He said it's like magic, and it was. Those guys were fantastic. So again, Bill Champlin, 76 years old, should be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, by the way. And I don't care where you put him in there. The fact that, I get it, they're going to nominate the original band for Chicago and put them in, leaving both Jason and Bill out of that, even though they had spent, like 30 years, 28, 30 years in the band. Bill deserved to be in the Hall of Fame based on his past with Sons of Champlin, his solo work, and just his presence in music for so long. And he's so good still to this day. So if you have a chance to see the Players, I will put a link to their website. Their website is a little tricky. Maybe I'll put a link to their Facebook page, and then you can check their stuff out. They don't have any recorded stuff out there. I wish they would do that. I had Jeff Coffey and Keith Howland on the show about a week or two ago, and they talked about maybe doing some original music, which I think would be good because some of this original music that people are missing, and could supplement their regular diet of older music. Some of this stuff is fantastic, like this CWF album. I'm hoping that CWF does another album. Anything that Peter Freestadt gets involved with is typically awesome. So look him up as well. And Bill Champlin, man, just unbelievable. There are a lot of singers today that are losing it. Bill Champlin is not one of those guys. He's just defying nature, and good for him. He's got a passion for it. He cracks a lot of great one-liners up there too. After Gordon Campbell finished the drums on "I'm a Man," Bill was like, "Holy bleep!" And he's like a fan. It's like it's awesome to hear musicians just in awe of other musicians. Like, what was that? I mean, go check out Gordon Campbell and his work as well. These are elite musicians. And I'm so happy for both Jeff Coffey and Keith Howland. They're still great. And it's too bad they're not in Chicago. But I think they've found a really cool band to be a part of. And hopefully that band continues and has a bright future. All right, folks. Thanks for watching and for supporting this channel. Again, Patreon and YouTube memberships if you want to contribute and help this channel continue to grow and fight against the algorithm, which, again, some days it's good and some days it's really bad. So I definitely need your help. God bless everyone. Continue to pray for peace in the Middle East and around the world. And I will see you soon.